go. Mhm.
You know, Blake, I wonder if you already know Dr. Quaid. Why are you running around looking for other doctors?
Well, because me and Dr. Quaid aren't on the best terms right now.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, I insulted his mother. Yeah,
You what?
basically.
Blake, that
I
doesn't sound
insulted
like a
his
very
mother.
nice thing to do. Why?
No,
Because
that's very nice.
his mother is a corpse.
What?
Dr. Quaid is insane. I saw him skin a
What?
person.
His mother is a corpse.
You
And
saw
he
him
brought us
skin
yesterday
a
to his...
person?
A dead person, of course.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my god, Blake, Dr.
I called
Quaid
them biter.
needs help.
The other thing about Dr. Richard Quaid was yesterday he invited me and my brothers and sisters to his birthday bash for his mother. And he brought his mother out, and she was a rotting corpse. And he pretended to make her talk and stuff. And he wanted me to feed her birthday cake.
Okay, Blake, this is very important.
And I said, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. And he's like, why won't you touch mother? Is she not good enough for you or something? Huh?
Oh my god, you must have been so scared.
Exactly. And my brothers got mad at me for, saying that. They were going to let him beat me up with a bat. Hence why I'm not trying to stay around him right now.
Oh my god, I can understand. That's awful. Okay, Blake, I have a question for you, and this is very, very important. It will tell us part of what's wrong with Dr. Quaid, okay? Do you think that Dr. Quaid knows that his mother is a corpse? Or not?
Okay? No. No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I tried telling him, and everyone got mad at me for saying it.
Yes, well, that makes sense. You see, what Dr. Quaid has is sort of a delusion. Okay? It means he believes something to be true that
You need a
isn't.
Magnum.
I need ammo for
No.
my...
No, because I found the Magnum itself.
And
Oh,
when
yeah.
you poke holes or deny
I'll
the
be by the grocery
delusion,
store. I'll
it
buy
can
the
make people
police.
who have them very, very
No,
upset.
There's a police car by the police station. No, the
Yeah, that's
supermarket.
right.
But I was just, he
You
was
lost
talking
them,
to his dead corpse. And he wanted me to touch her, and I said I wasn't touching that dead corpse.
I understand. I know it's a terrible, terrible position to be put in. I'm just trying to think about what might be going on for Dr. Quaid. Can you imagine? Imagine if he doesn't really know what it might be like. Dr. Quaid might be just as
I wouldn't know.
confused and scared as you were then.
Really?
I don't know because I haven't talked with him very much, but I know that other people that I've worked with who have similar delusions are often very afraid and very angry inside, and they've been hurt a lot. You see, that's why he needs to keep his mother alive.
But she was smelly and she was a rotting corpse, and he brought her outside, and it was a birthday party for her, but she didn't talk, and he acted like she was talking, and
I wonder
weird.
if maybe he actually hears her talk, even though you can't hear it. Do you understand?
He said, but everyone else was saying they heard her too, but I didn't hear her.
Well, there is such a thing as a shared delusion. So multiple people may also be having these delusions and hallucinations, or they may be afraid to upset Dr. Quaid by denying his.
You think maybe that's why they got mad at me for what I said?
They probably know that Dr. Quaid gets very upset when someone says such things, and so in order to avoid Dr. Quaid getting upset, they probably don't do that. So it may have just been upsetting all around. But I bet that everybody could talk about it.
They told me he tried to commit suicide after because the doctor now.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's awful. You see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, I know it was terrifying. I know it must have been awful, but if he went to commit suicide, imagine how broken he must feel inside and out of control.
Well, what should I do then?
Well, you see, I don't know. You know Dr. Quaid far better than I do, but he struck me as at least a man who was willing to talk.
He was trying to talk with me after with a baseball bat. So I ran.
I don't blame you. Maybe giving it some time for him to cool off is a better idea. But hopefully you'll run into him, and maybe if you wanted to, maybe we could talk to him together, like a therapy session.
There, maybe, yeah, that might be good.
Well, I'd certainly like to see the two of you happier and not at odds with each other. I'd be happy to help. If I was welcome, of course. No pressure.
I wouldn't mind talking. I'm just scared he's going to hurt me. With that, my brothers will hurt me.
Well, if everybody agrees, and this is the way I used to do therapy with groups, if everybody agrees for the time that we're there talking, we will follow some rules, and that way everybody can feel safe to say the things that they really feel without being punished. That's the only way things work, right?
Well, maybe, yeah.
Doesn't hurt to try. The worst that people can say is no, right? And then we know what we're dealing with more.
Yeah.
And then we come up with another plan.
That would work.
Well, if you think about it, you know Dr. Quaid better than I do, and you know if you want to salvage your friendship with him more than I do. But if you want to talk to him, if he's recently tried to commit suicide, he may be very much in need of some comfort and a friend. Even if you hurt him the day before or made him angry, maybe you have a chance to redeem yourself in his eyes. Not that I think you've done anything wrong, but, when you're dealing with someone who has delusions, things are a little different.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
You don't really what?
I don't really get why he thinks his mother's, she's just like almost a skeleton. She was smelly and she had fleas on her and other maggots.
Well, again, it's difficult for
We were
me
against the
to...
tree and...
It's difficult for me to assess the situation not having seen it, but I have seen such extremities before. They're... Oh, how do I explain this? Your brain lives in liquid, okay? And inside the liquid are all sorts of chemicals, and there's also electricity in there. And the chemicals and the electricity run what we see and what we hear, and even to a certain extent how we feel. And if those things aren't at just the right balance through trauma or some physical problem, then the mind can truly make you believe things that are not real. So some people hear and see things or believe things that the people around them can see is not real, but they truly are unable to see it. or smell it or even feel it, because their need for the illusion is so great that or the truth would be so detrimental and traumatic and hurtful that they cannot allow themselves to see it.
Come in here. Please. Mr. Pebbles, or, yeah, I forgot, and Mr. John, if you wish to go on ahead, I wanted to talk to Miss Alyssa alone for a few minutes. So if you need to go do some things, or the like, don't feel a need to stay around.
I'm gonna go and scavenge the town a bit. You guys.
I'll be in this. We'll meet up at this clinic again. We'll be in this greenhouse. If this is comfy enough. If you don't mind, I wanted to talk to you more privately about me. I couldn't really do that with everyone else there on the street.
Sure.
So I guess I'm asking for, is that like a therapy session for a few minutes? It's not too much of trouble.
I don't have any other appointments today. Feel free to talk. I'm here to listen.
Okay, so when I was last in that place, they said I had a few mental conditions. One was that I had something called codependency or dependency, in which I had to be around someone at all times. They also said I had this other thing in which even though I'm older, I think I'm young. I think I'm younger than I really am, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about that?
I don't know. Like people, they say my voice doesn't sound my age, the way I dress, the things I like to do, they just not for my age. That like.
Well, you do indeed seem very youthful, almost childlike.
Yeah, my brothers all say I'm childish. Like I like teddy bears. I like to play with stuffed animals, and I like coloring books, and I like singing and dancing and playing games that other people think are for little kids and babies. Like,
well, those things sound fun. Hey, I'll tell you a secret.
What?
I like to color too.
I mean, they say I don't know a lot of big words, my voice, and just they call me a man-child.
Oh, that's kind of mean. I bet that hurts your feelings.
Yeah, it really does.
But you know, Blake, you don't have to be like them. And you know, a lot of times when people make fun of you, it really means that they're trying to make themselves feel better.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have you ever had a dog and it's been hurt, and when you go to check the wound, maybe the dog snaps at you or growls at you? Have you ever seen that happen?
Yeah, yeah. One of my neighbors had a pet dog.
So think about that. You know, the dog is hurt himself, and so to prevent him from being hurt anymore, he lashes out at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that the person who is hurting your feelings, your brothers sometimes, imagine that they are hurt, and so because they've been hurt, in order to keep themselves from hurting and in order to feel, oh, I don't know, maybe a sense of superiority, and they make someone else feel bad. So they say something mean, and that way you don't ever get close enough to actually hurt them with your words or with your actions. And maybe they get just a little sadistic thrill out of harming someone else like they've been hurt. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying that you deserve that. I'm just saying that sometimes that's how people work. And it's not just because of you or because you're not worthwhile.
I mean, some people seem to care about me, like I have some. My mommy does, but my mommy feels at me too sometimes. My grandpa, my grandma, my uncle and aunt, they all seem to be nice to me. No one calls me a man-child. They all respect me.
Well, you know, brothers are kind of a different relationship. You know, brothers, I bet if anybody else said those things about you in front of your brothers, I bet that they wouldn't have a very good day, would they? Would your brothers defend you when it came down to it?
Yeah. My brothers, when people have made fun of me before, my brothers point guns in their face and tell them to apologize.
And so how did that make you feel?
Good. It made me feel important, special.
Yeah. See, so remember, you know, that's when they make fun of you, it might be because they hurt themselves, and that's only half of the story. I mean, they're willing to shoot someone's face off for an apology for you. That's pretty strong love.
Yeah. We're not a real family, like by blood.
What? That's not the only thing that makes real family. Back where I'm from, in West Virginia, we have a phrase that a person has their kith and their kin. And your kin is your blood family, but your kith are the people you choose.
I've done some things that I feel bad for in my life.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So I was born in Canada, and I lived with my mom. I never knew my father. My mom called it a one-night stand, and that we never saw him again.
Oh, okay.
And then, so she was kind of my mother and my father. When I was 15, she got killed in a car accident.
Oh, Blake, I'm so sorry. It sounds like your life has just been full of sorrow.
Right? And then I didn't have any other role model. I had to come here to live with. My mom only had one brother, and they didn't have any. My grandparents. I didn't know my real ones and stuff like that, so they brought me here to live with my uncle. But my uncle, he wasn't very normal. He drank a lot of alcohol. He cut me, and he touched me in places.
You poor thing. Blake, I want you to know one thing. However long we talk, or however many times we talk, I want you to remember one thing, okay? None of these things were your fault.
the next part is, um, I ended up killing him.
What
Slit his
happened?
throat in the kitchen. I got a knife and just from behind I just stabbed him, and I don't know if it was right or wrong. And after that I had no other family to live with, so I was living in a kind of an adoption center, and I kept going through, as they call it, stages of depression. I kept trying to commit suicide. So they ended up sending me to this mental hospital, which was called the Casa there. And in there, they did lots of things that they said if we did what they said, we would feel better and we would get like rewards. Like they would give us coloring books and teddy bears or whatever we wanted.
Okay.
And they, in doing so, they cut us. They used the technique of bloodletting and electrocution and hypnosis to try to, cure us, as he called it. But I really think the government wasn't involved with it. It was a private industry, and there was some people in there who said they didn't even have mental illnesses. They didn't even have mental. They said they were political prisoners from other countries that were sent there to keep them shut.
So I've heard many rumors of the corruption that existed here before the outbreak. I wouldn't be surprised.
And eventually, we were all freed by a man that we all called his real name is Benjamin Williams, but we called him the Father. He told us he would be our new father, and I never had a father, and that we were all his children. And everyone here in that cell, in that prison were brothers and sisters.
And this made you feel safe and bonded together, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. And he ended up falling in love with a woman called Mary, and she became our mom. She became my mommy, and almost like a replacement for my original mom, Clara.
Blake,
We were together.
you've been through so much. It's, even if your brothers make fun of you for it, it's amazing to me that you've been able to hold on to, I don't know, that youthful, childlike love for such simple things. Despite all of these tragedies, just the fact, look at you, your head is hung down, you've suffered remorse. Just the fact that you're here asking me if what you did was wrong or right lets me know where your heart is. It sounds to me like he must have pushed you very hard and hurt you a lot to put you in a place where you were willing to do that, to slit someone's throat. You haven't done anything horrible to me or even hinted at such a thing. Right?
I don't like to hurt people. It was only him. He's the only man I've ever hurt. I've actually ever
That's what I'm
killed a man.
saying. I can't imagine
hurt
what he
people.
must have put you through in order to make you want to do something like that. I can't imagine what he must have done.
Off my shirt and rolled up my pants. You would see like all the cuts and bruises, and he touched me in private places, and he drank a lot and abused me and called me names, and his wife, the love of his life broke up with him, and all this, and he took it all out on me. And
You're safe now, and you've taken care of him. As far as I'm concerned, you did what you needed to do to keep yourself safe. As far as I'm concerned, you did the only thing you could do to keep yourself safe, and I'm glad you did.
It wasn't the first thing I tried. I tried calling the police, but my uncle didn't let us have phones in the house. He
The
wouldn't let me
police
go to
are so
school.
often inadequate in such situations. Anyway, I can't tell you how many times I've seen them fail or make a situation worse.
yeah, I tried calling. I tried looking for a phone to call the police, or ways to escape. But he locked the windows. He barricaded. He locked the doors.
You were his
I couldn't go to
prisoner.
school after.
You were his prisoner, and what would anybody expect? Keeping you like a prisoner, like somebody he would. You're not an animal. You're a person. You're a dear, sweet, soft-hearted person, and you didn't deserve it. You did not deserve it.
And to catch up to what happened recently, so my father disappeared, and no one's seen him since. So mother became the new leader of the family, and a few weeks ago, my brother Joffrey and my sister Will, they got married, and at their wedding, they proclaimed that they were leaving the family, and that they were starting their own group, Alyssa Zafina, based after their last name. And that they started Mary as their mother, and some of my brothers followed them, and not all of us have, so we're all split up, and it's confused.
It must be so scary to see the family that you've built and chosen going through this change.
Mm-hmm. My mother's we haven't seen her for over a week, and she's been gone. And I've been out looking for her to see if she's safe and all that. That's why I came to Novi to see if she came back home, and I met you, and I've been looking for her as well. Someone told me a doctor met her, and that's why the entire reason I also wanted to help you, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to ask the doctor if he had seen my mother,
Sure.
if she was doing all right, if she's not dead.
Well, if you'd like, I'll help you.
But at the same time, I'm scared of doctors that they're going to give me drugs and try to hurt me like the other doctors did. So I have a natural distrust of all doctors as well. So it's tough.
It's okay. We'll make a good team. You see, I've worked with many doctors, and they're often condescending to people in my field. So I'm not much of a fan of most of them unless they treat me well. But I can talk to the doctors, and you don't have to worry about it. And I won't let them give you anything. I have enough training to know what medications are good for you and which are not, at least at a basic level.
I won't take morphine. I won't take epinephrine. I won't take alcohol. I won't take any of those drugs.
Okay.
Any of those pills. I don't take charcoal tabs.
Well, if there is anybody who wants to make you take those things, I will do whatever I can to make sure that they don't. I try not to use violent means. I've never had to hurt anybody. But I am aware that the possibility and the necessity may exist in the future. I don't like people forcing other people to do things.
I just need to get that out. We can start heading, go with everyone else.
Do you feel any better? Was that helpful to you?
Yes, it was very helpful.
Good.
Thank you, Miss Hallie.
You're welcome, Blake, anytime.
You
Goodness!
wouldn't happen to have a pen.
There might be one upstairs.